Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about E85 in your late model BMW. We're going to talk about disadvantages, we're going to talk about the advantages, is it safe, and how much can you add. Alright, so keep watching. So guys, my name is Eddie. I'm an automotive YouTuber. I do a lot of content on cars, and check my playlist out up here. If you like X5 or anything BMW related, you might like what you see. So if you do like it, maybe consider subscribing. So what is E85? E85 is essentially alcohol. It is ethanol, right? So yeast is ethanol, and starting in 2007, the US began adding 10% of ethanol added to all regular gas fuels. Any pump gas fuels, there's 10% of ethanol added. So that 10%, it is called E10. Now, cars manufactured after 1990s and beyond 2000s think that they can safely run E10, right? Because those cars are kind of knowing that they're going to run ethanol. The drawback of running E10 and some of the older cars that had the design in mind is that you have the potential of corrosion, considering that ethanol has water content inside, just a little bit of water base. So you got to think about that. But most modern fuel systems, especially after 2006, can handle that, and the seals and everything else is compatible to it. Some vehicles can even run 85% of ethanol. So it's called E85, and which is denoted by their flex fuel markings on either the side of the vehicle or the gas cap can say flex fuel. What that means is the car can run on just 85% of ethanol, which you can find pretty heavily over the Midwest, East Coast. You can see it out here at West. We don't see it as much, but it can be found. So the question you're gonna have is, how much can you put in your BMW? Well, and can you safely run it? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, you can add it, and it depends on how much. Now, if you guys are from the M3 community, you know, I'm sure you've heard of cars running or tuned to run that percent. And what that is 100 octane. It allows you to get better combustion, better ignition, and I just got a little bit later in the video. But M3 guys, like I said, I know that we typically run 2-3 gallons, especially here on the West Coast where 91 octane is poor, and that's usually the advantages. It is 100 octane equivalent, and what we're doing is we're just making our fuel quality better. Now, some people take it a step further. They run 85% ethanol, and they have their cars tuned appropriately. How much can you run? Say, for example, you live on the West Coast, you're getting California grade fuel, Arizona grade fuel, you want to get something better, you want to maybe get just a more higher quality. I constantly say you can run safely 2 to 3 gallons, depending on the size of your fuel tank, without any problems. 2 to 3 gallons, that's it. Don't do any more than that. And what that is it, like I said, it's 100 octane, and you mix that with 91, the percentage of the ethanol, you're kind of getting yourself about E20, and you're just getting just a better burn. And another advantage of E85 is the fact that it is a cleaner burning, so it's better for the environment. You're going to lower your AKI, your anti-knock index. And what that is you can actually run more combustion. You get better combustion, and it reduces the intake temperatures. So then it lowers the knock rating. All right, and knock means that there's combustion before the spark plug ignites, things like that. So when you hear that, those rattles in your engine when you're running higher fuel, hot temperatures, and it's hot outside, and you're stepping on to get a load on the engine, you hear that rattle. That is when that is knock, and what happens is your car adjusts to that, and it pulls timing to adjust, so that way the timing doesn't happen, the combustion doesn't happen before it's intended. So running that little bit of ethanol in there can increase that knock rating, so that way you don't run into those issues. And depending on, like I said, your size of your fuel tank is how much you want to add. Like I said, I don't recommend, I usually do 2 or 3 gallons. If you go More than that, you're probably not going to see as much. There are calculators online to help you decide which one to use. For example, this X5 20-gallon fuel tank, I ran it down to almost empty. I put in 5 gallons of E85, and then I filled the rest up with 91 octane. So with that mixture, it gave me 93 octane, and I was able to run 93 octane tune and have a problem. And I could feel the power. I could feel the power increase. The engine ran smoother. It ran just a little bit better. Now, would I say that adding more than that to give you more? No, that doesn't happen that way. For one, it's not as you increase. Remember, you're starting off with 10% from the beginning, and you're adding 85%. So when you do the math, if I add in like say 6-8 gallons of 85, I mean it's not going to put me up at like 97 octane. You're looking at closer to 94. So the more you add, the less advantage you get with the octane. Now, if you are tuned, you're going to see an advantage, especially here in California. 91 octane, just putting a couple gallons in if you're tuned, that helps a lot. Those on the East Coast, you guys aren't really going to notice difference with 2 gallons of 85. I mean, you guys can get really good quality 93, so I don't really see. If I was out there, I would be jealous because I could just run 93 all day long. And also out there too, at least I know I've seen some places in Ohio when I lived out there, is you can go to the pump and you can pump the mixture automatically from the pump. It automatically had the settings there. I can't remember the gas station, but there was a few stations out there. One was in, I know it was somewhere near Cincinnati, but yeah, you could, it blended it automatically, so less calculation for you. So you knew if you want to eat 20 or eat 30, you knew that it was just, took the math out. Let's say with that 15 gallons of pump gas, 91 octane, and that 100 gallon of E85, that's not quite E30, but I would say that's by E27 from when I looked at the calculator. That's E27, and that 20% won't harm your fuel system. It won't damage anything. The thing is, if you let the car sit for an extended period of time, so say for example, if this is not your daily driver and it's a car you drive once a month, think about that water separation that may happen, in the tank after extended periods of time. If you're trying to dial in certain amounts, if your car's tuned and you're trying to get a certain amount of 85, I recommend getting a reader. There are readers you can buy. I don't know how they install them. I don't know that much about them as far as how accurate they are, but I know I watch other people's YouTubes. I think Dick Whips, I watch him his videos, and he has a flex fuel reader. So when he pumps in 85, it tells him his mixture, so he knows how to tune his car appropriately based on the fuel, and he adjusts real time. Because 85 isn't equivalent, it varies per station. If you look at the gas pump, it'll tell you that it ranges from anywhere from 53% all the way to 85%. So it is not quite as accurate each time you pump it. So just be cautious when you do that if you are tuning on 85. I recommend there's a reader. Let's recap. 85 can lower your octane number. 85 is cleaner burning. It is safer. It is safe for your car to run in small amounts. And remember, larger amounts does that mean it's gonna be better for you. Okay, the larger it does, it's not really that ratio. So for example, if I fill 8 gallons of 85 and I put in 12 gallons of pump gas, I'm only left with 40% of E85. Like I said, there's calculators. I'm gonna link some graphs and stuff into the description so you guys can at least understand it and read it for yourself. Like I said, if you're good at math, you probably can do the calculations a lot better than I can. And if you're really serious about it or tuning on it, I recommend getting a flex fuel reader. Those of us on the West Coast, we get a benefit, and if you're really serious about it, like I said, just think about it, because it's a toss-up how much you're actually getting in your tank. Alright guys, so I was editing the video and I realized a couple of things I left out. When you are putting this in your fuel tank and you're running the 85 and you're adding 2 gallons here, 3 gallons there, and you're filling up, from what I noticed after a few fuel tanks, I'm sure that is getting diluted to a point where the concentration could be more, and I start to lose track of how much is actually in the tank. That's why a flex fuel reader would be beneficial to knowing what's in there at all times. I think at a certain point, I think you should just drain the tank completely, like I said, run it to empty and fill up with just this regular fuel or 91 octane fuel and run that through a couple times. I think that's good to run the system clear, and I think that helps make sure that you don't get too overly concentrated with the 85 content in the tank. Make sure that you get some lubrication into your fuel system, because like I said, the alcohol can corrode and things like that, running too much and the car sitting for a little bit of time. I think just better off health for your vehicle to at least add that run tank every once in a while. I think for me, I just do it every third tank or so. I'll run a full tank of just straight premium unleaded fuel only, with no 85 content. I really wait till it goes all the empty, fill it up, run a tank, and then I fill up again, run a tank, and then I go ahead and switch my blend again. For me, that worked out better. Like I said, at one point I think I lost track of how much was in there. I won't say I had problems with the car, but I did get a random misfire and a drivetrain malfunction. And then I was thinking like, okay, what happened? Went back to regular fuel, ran fine, switched back over to 85. It's fine ever since then. Okay, funny story. As I'm editing this part, the final edit, this video's been, I think I started this back in August, okay? And I've been testing this E85. I really want to make sure that when I give you guys information, it is to correct information. But what I discovered, why I had the drivetrain malfunction, actually turned out to be, I think on one of my coils, it backed out. It wasn't quite seated, and actually happened one more time, and actually they had to push it down, and then at that point it was good to go. I think it just wasn't seated all the way, so not quite related, but I still think you should run maybe 2 full tanks of just plain unleaded fuel only, just to clear out the 85. So what my ratio is now, what I've been doing is my initial fill up, I do 3 gallons of E85, and then I switch over and fill up with the premium fuel, run that. My next fill up, I do 2 gallons of E85 premium fuel. Next one, 1 gallon of E85, and then I fill up. And then once I get down to there again, I'll do 1 to 2 tanks of regular just plain fuel, and then I restart my ratio of 3 gallons. And that seems to be working out pretty good for me. Like I said, flex fuel sensor is going to be ideal to really get your ratio. If you're trying to dial in a certain tune or a certain octane, flex fuel sensor is better. I don't know if you can get those for our engines. I don't know where you can get it from. I know on the M3 guys, I know they run it a lot. M4 guys, they run it. So I watched video from Dick Whips, and he has one on his car. So when he fills up, it tells him his exact ratio, so he knows when he activates his tune, it's going to be pretty much set, like, this is what it's going to be. Also, another drawback is when you're running this content, you're gonna notice your mile per gallon is going to be decreased a little bit, because this ethanol, it burns so cleanly. It also burns fast. It has a faster burn rate than gasoline, so you're gonna notice a slight decrease in fuel mileage. People who run pure 85 notice that their fuel mileage it hurts dramatically. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you found the video helpful. Be sure, if you did, give me a thumbs up and press the like button if you did. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.